Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another lazy, relaxed, delightful edition of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Yay. Miss Jennifer, how's your week been?
My week has been okay. I am thankful it is getting into close to spooky season and hoodies and football, and I'm just, I love this. This is my time.
Yeah. Zane is his favorite time is fall. This is my spring is my favorite time, but fall is a very close second because I just love the weather and I love all the stuff we can do. And
the leaves falling and the bugs dying and going away. That's why I don't like spring. Spring is when the bugs start coming out. Fall is when they start dying. Then you die. But I don't want to kill them because I'm a nice person.
No.
Not really. Okay.
No, the reason I like spring so much is because after the weather is to me great, but after like a long cold winter, it's just it wakes me back up and like brings back my spirits. And
you get done hibernating.
I get done hibernating.
Yeah.
I get to go have adventures again. So that's why
I understand that. But we get to have adventures.
Yes.
Anytime.
This is true.
Any season.
Speaking of adventures, so this is the weekend. No, it was Labor Day last weekend?
Yes.
So we this weekend we went and did a cider brunch here in town at the Wine Cellar. So anybody who's in Huntsville knows about the Wine Cellar. They do brunches every now and then, once a month. Yep. And this month they did ciders, and they had a kind of overpriced charcuterie board brunch, but it was yummy. It was.
I liked the first time we went. It was more of a pick your own. You get to they had a spread of the food, and it was bottomless mimosas. Yeah. Now I liked the ciders a lot. It's just wasn't the biggest fan of that we only had like a few choices to eat. Yeah. I'd rather have that big spread again where I can, eat kind of the things I know I like and, that sort of thing. Yeah, but not that I eat much, but Yeah,
it was nice though. And the ciders were, there was one cider I can remember where it's from the New Jersey one? The artisan something.
I know it was from I know
Zane's
New
going
Jersey.
to look at it.
They kept saying New Jersey, so that's all I kept hearing.
It's from New Jersey. Zane's looking at it now. It's called the Artisan. So he brings the bottle over. Artisan Orchard. Okay, I don't know. There's some word in cursive that I can't quite read, but it was really good. They had mango strawberry, which was amazing. They had a peach ginger, which was good, but the mango strawberry.
They had watermelon, which I liked, a blueberry,
and a hard cider.
And just their hard cider, which was probably my favorite. Was just the hard cider. Yeah,
it was really good. Though. Yeah, we bought a couple bottles I bought 2 bottles. I'm going to give Zane and I have a Dirty Santa party here at our house every December. Probably my gift. So for any of our listeners. Oh, Benjamin, if you're able to come down for the party, please do.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably do it the first weekend of December.
I told him about the brunch, and I told him next time he visits, we got to see if it's available so we can take him, because that is the place, the Wine Cellar, is where we used to go like almost every Friday night and just do wine tastings to find out which wines we liked. It was in the beginning of my wine journey into finding, not just the bug juice Moscato that I would drink, but that it would be different ways that I could, just get a chance to taste and not really have to pay for a bottle kind of thing. And they did really well. There was one dude there that I really liked. I don't remember his name. And he would talk to me about it, the different wines, and he would, he'd give me a healthy pour. Because, I'm special like that. And he was really cool. And I used to see him at the bars. Mm-hmm. So whenever I saw him at the bars, I'm like, hey, you pour my wine.
You know, I was thinking if next year, like, I don't know about this year because we're still kind of a small podcast, but maybe next year we might do a Dirty Santa party at Shenanigans for all our guests and listeners that want to come.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we'll see. It depends on like the growth of the podcast and how we're doing, but we've had locally
because I doubt anyone from Saskatchewan wants to fly down to Huntsville to come to our party.
But if you
even though we love that you listen, Saskatchewan.
If you are in Saskatchewan and you would like to come to be on the podcast or just fly down to Huntsville, we'll take you around. Just email us at guidetopoorparenting.
There you go. Because we don't get that many emails. We'd like to. Please and thank you.
We have been getting emails from just random people promoting shit, and I'm just like, I don't know that I care to bring on just random people promoting stuff.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been like hesitant to do that. Like one of them was a counselor or like a parenting guru. So I was like, okay, that one I might consider.
Right.
But we're like, Jennifer and I are just rank amateurs when it comes to interviewing. And we're just kind of curious about
how people parent.
Yeah. And so like, it's a little intimidating to get like a professional like counselor on and be like, so tell us about your work. You know, like we're not skilled at that. I'm not sure we're skilled at any of this, but we're having fun.
Yeah. And people listen.
Yeah.
So, Benjamin likes it.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Thank you,
Benjamin. We just do it for Benjamin. So our only way to talk to Benjamin.
That's right.
We need to get him on just to have him like we did with EJ.
Oh, yeah. The childless.
The childless.
He's like, y'all make me realize I don't want kids.
That's right. Yeah, he loves being an uncle, though, So, and I think EJ likes being an uncle, too. So that's kind of the
trade-off
match there.
Yeah.
But
balancing act.
But other than our fun weekend.
Well, after the brunch, we did what, Jennifer?
Oh, we took Kalia to an escape room. Mm-hmm. And she had a blast, I think.
Yeah, she did. She asked if she could do it again. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was just the four of us, you, Zane, Kalia, and I. Mm-hmm. And we did the Psycho Killer Room.
Yep.
Which was... A dude was just trying to poison the city.
Yep.
It wasn't really Psycho Killer or like...
I think it's called the Psych Ward is what it was.
You kept saying Psycho Killer. And for some reason, Kalia kept saying New York, and I still don't understand that correlation there. I don't really care to. But yeah, I felt like it was a lot of fun, and I think it really like interested her because we started in one room, then we got to switch to another room, and then found another room, and I think she was like, whoa, there's all this, and I really think she liked it a lot.
And she got to I could tell she was struggling on some of the puzzles, but she, we made sure she was included where she could.
Yeah. Bring me those pieces, or hang this up there, or put these on the board, that kind of thing. I think that helped because we were just trying to get it done. Because the grown-ups were kind of like, woo, what do we do now kind of thing.
There was a couple of clues. I'm like, what the fuck are we supposed to do next? And then they were like, oh, just look at the end of the chain you just unlocked. I'm like, I would have not have seen that shit.
Well, and I'm the one that unlocked it, but I was too busy trying to get my bad knees up off the ground to even think about a chain, a key on a chain, because and it's dark and
Yep. And they had this one clue that involved a laser. You're supposed to point it at different mirrors, but like at the beginning of the escape room, they're like, don't force anything. If it meant to move, it'll move easily. Yeah. So we unlocked this one box with a laser pointer on it, and I was like, well, am I supposed to move? I could tell it moved a little bit, but I couldn't get a grip on it, and I was like, I'm afraid if I start... It was like, they said not force it. Right. So like it wouldn't move easily. So I was like, all right. And then the lady who was watching us, she just like, here's the code. You're not going to get it. So thank God she did that. Yeah.
Because again, we don't want to break anything and be liable for repairs or whatever. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Huntsville Escape Room. They have other rooms. It is kind of pricey. So, it's an adventure, not a every weekend kind of thing. Same as the brunch. It was a little pricey, but it was fun.
Yes,
and adventure and experience. Loved it. It made for a really good weekend this weekend.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and then we had brunch again today
with our friend of the pod, Brian. Yes, who came on a few weeks back.
Yep, and he really wanted or you said that he keeps on saying, come over. And we're, busy family, and finally got to go, and beautiful house.
Yes. Him and Michael have this gorgeous pool in the backyard.
And the pool is just like, it's a black bottom pool.
Yeah.
And there's stairs everywhere, which was really cool to see.
It was cool. I was a little scared though when I dipped my toe in it, but I was like, it's hard to see where the steps are. Yeah. So like I wouldn't let my mother go in that.
I wouldn't jump into it because I wouldn't know where I would hit.
Yeah.
So
when we were leaving, I was like, Clea, do you want to go back and go swimming? She's like, no. And she kept saying, well, why? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I said why like 15 times before she's like.
Well, no, I was like, is it because it has a black bottom? She's like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because she wouldn't even go in with us, she said, but it's okay. I think we could get her into it. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's no, that girl loves water, so I think
if we like, hey, Bailey, you want to come over and go swimming?
Oh, yeah. And then the guest that we had, what's his name? Brian. As soon as we get there, your future daughter-in-law, that's just what we're going to call her, and Elijah, the baby, who's 2 months old. As soon as we walk in, he just like
snatched that
baby out of that car seat and just pretty much wouldn't let him down. And I'm sure, do we say her name on the podcast? Have we asked?
Leia?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't given her last name, so I don't think she cared.
Oh, okay. Well, I just didn't know if reach or anything. Right, but still, I just didn't know if we had asked her if we could. She's
going to come be on the podcast probably next year.
Oh, okay. Well, just wanted to make sure. But Alea, she got to kind of relax a little bit, and I think that was nice. And then Justin got to relax because, no one was here.
Mm-hmm. We did invite him, but Justin's so not antisocial, but he's just so shy and quiet that he's doesn't be around big crowds.
Well, he was really tired.
Yeah.
Because when I rolled up, I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "I'm tired." I was like, "Oh, okay, my bad."
I've told him before, him and Leia share our room on one side of the east wing of the house, the north wing of the house. But I've told him before, I was like, if you're having trouble sleeping, just go to the back bedroom. Just conk out back there. I was like, the baby is going to disrupt your sleep, and you need, it's like, me and Alea can handle it while you get some sleep.
Right.
Because I'm just trying to be supportive of Alea,
which is really sweet. But he also needs to sleep, too.
Yeah, because he's their only paycheck at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
but that was our weekend. I mean, we were busy. A great weekend. Yeah. I will say it was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's probably one of the better weekends I've had in a long time. Not being mean, but it
was less stressful.
Wesley was not with me majority of the weekend, so that helped. Just cool things happening, fun experiences, good weather. Had to bring my jacket with me because I get cold easily. But yeah,
we what slipped my damn mind. Jennifer and I went to support group earlier this week, and it was like one horrific story after another. And I was like, good Lord. And mine was the shortest because Kalia, since Justin's out, as an adult, really don't do much for him now. And Kalia's frankly an easy kid. I'm just she's fine. She's on her period, but she's annoying. But,
she's going to therapy.
Yeah, she's fine. So, but the rest of y'all were like, oh, my son murdered a dog. Oh, my son stole $500. Oh, my child did all that.
Called the cops. Said I locked him out of the house, and and then when the cops get there, I open the door, and then I say, "Did I unlock it?" And the cops no. Kids are stupid. Yeah, it's so funny.
So it is.
But then it's also kind of eye-opening, the ones that have multiple kids. Mm-hmm. On how the ones that aren't the biological. I don't want to say troublemakers, but the ones that need the most attention, that the other ones kind of get put to the wayside a little bit. Yeah. And that kind of hurts my heart a little bit for them, because it's you're focusing on this kid because he needs all the attention right now, but then the other ones are getting kind of
short shift.
Yeah, so I always feel bad for that family. Yeah. But I mean, it's so crazy in their support group. It's always you either have 1 or 2 kids or 5 to 15. Yeah. There's no medium. in there whatsoever. You either have a gaggle or two.
I will say, I like the family. I'm not going to give too many specifics, but like the family we're talking about, just in general, they have their own biological children, and then they've got some adoptive kids, and I like their hearts are so big to bring some to all of us you have to have a pretty generous heart to do this kind of stuff that we've all done,
right?
But
just don't tell us that in public.
Yeah, but especially in front of the kids.
Yes.
However, but the it must eat the parents' hearts up a little bit, because the adoptive kids are kind of like, one of them especially is kind of mean and cruel to the original ones,
the younger,
the younger biological. And I was just like, that's probably eating them alive.
I mean, it hurts me, and I'm not even like anywhere. Just monthly, I might see them if they come each month.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that just gotta hurt,
Yeah. To like, you're trying to do something
to help out.
Yeah. And then they end up like tormenting your biological children.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, should I have done this?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, too late now.
That's right.
But this is a tough road to hoe.
Yes, it is.
I would say, if Zane and I had biological children, the only way I would have done the foster to adopt thing was if the biological kids were the much older.
Yes.
So that they didn't need me as much,
right,
and they didn't feel neglected.
Right.
And they could defend themselves from the younger ones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if you are thinking of adopting, that would probably be my only bit of advice. It's like, make sure if you have biological kids, wait till they're a little bit older.
Right. And just really think on it, because it changes your life. Mm-hmm. I mean, kids in general change your life.
Yeah. It's almost like having a kid, like a chronically sick child too. Like, I think about like parents who's have like a child with cancer, and the other kids kind of get ignored.
Right, because all the focus is because you got to take them to the doctor's appointments, and you got to do this and this and this. And then you're more worried about them because they're unhealthy because of the cancer. And then the other kids are, they're healthy. They're okay. Let's just get them to school. So it's kind of, I can see that as another way of like kind of putting it out there, because it is a rough road. But how has your week been?
My week's been good.
Same as mine for the weekend.
Yeah, same as yours for the weekend. Pretty good. Mom's driving me a little bit crazy because she's right now currently renting a townhouse, and she's like trying to figure out what she wants to do, because she's getting to the point now. Her health is fine, but her joints are so bad that it's hard for her to walk very far.
Right.
And so she's thinking about moving into a transitional living place, and I've told her, I was like, well, why don't you She's thinking about moving to this one place in town called Redstone Village, but she's scared to dump that much money in because it's a buy-in kind of place where you have to put in like a couple $100,000 to move in.
Crazy.
But she's worried, one, she won't make friends, but I'm like, you don't have friends now because you live with my brother and can't go anywhere. So.
And I mean, it's not. I mean, to be honest, like she's I'm her friend.
She's outgoing.
She's very outgoing. She could make friends very easily. I think that I guess it's kind of like going to a new school.
Yeah.
Kind of like that way. Like, I have to do this, and this to get there, kind of thing.
She's scared, and I understand. I get the fear. I've told her, I was like, well, why don't you just pay to have like a mother-in-law suite built onto our house? And, we can get you a caregiver, and I'll be there, and I can come hang out with you. We'll watch TV or something in the afternoons.
Jennifer will come over and bug you,
We'll play card games. It'll be great.
Yeah.
But she's like, well, she also has to worry about my brother because he's 50 and, like, not really, I guess, at this point in his life, he's not really capable of supporting himself ever. Like, if she wasn't supporting him, he'd be homeless.
Yeah.
So she wants to make sure she's preserved some of her own retirement wealth to take care of my brother. And it's tough because I want her to be comfortable and happy and not have to worry about him.
Right.
But that's not reality. So.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. But we hope that he does have a girlfriend. And if that continues to be, whatchamacallit, then maybe they can move in together and then Mama doesn't have to worry so much.
That would be nice.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, Yeah. Because that would help Mama out a lot.
Yeah.
Because, she does worry. And I mean, and that's Mama's thing. Mama's just worry.
Yeah. And I can't say I blame her. I don't know that I would probably go to as depth as much as she has.
No.
But I understand the sense of wanting to help.
Yeah.
So
I do too for her. But I would never have even let it get that far, to be honest, because I'm just not that person to do that, because you're grown.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like at 40 years old, you're like, okay, if you're not able to take care of yourself, like, I'm so sorry, this is the life you're in right now, but this is just the reality,
right?
So it sucks, but but anyway,
Miss Jennifer,
it is what it is. What are we drinking, Miss Jennifer?
Oh, I don't have the bottle.
Oh, do you want me to introduce it?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Is it on the thingy?
Yeah, it's on the thing.
So, what we went to New Orleans like when we first went to
for the wedding?
For the distillery. Did we go for the wedding?
That's when Zane and I went.
I went with you guys.
Yeah, it was for the wedding.
It was for the wedding. So that's like 5 years ago, 4 years, however many years ago. We found this distillery, sorry. And all of us had never been, and it was kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
like in the industrial part of New Orleans. So we were kind of like, okay, let's see how this is, kind of thing. And got to do their tastings, and it was crazy because the boys aren't really gin drinkers, and there's this gin that doesn't taste like gin, and it's not clear. It's brown.
Yeah, they age it like bourbon in a bourbon barrel.
And it's so cool. And so the last time they had went to New Orleans, they picked up a bottle. Is that right?
That's when we got the bottle of gin, but this is not what we're drinking.
No. No, I'm talking about what we're drinking now. Is the last time you guys went down there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we got a whiskey, or they got a whiskey, I should say. And so it's called Bywater Bourbon Whiskey, and the distillery is the 7-3 Distillery. And they were really cool with like just the atmosphere was really cool. You could go buy drinks at the bar, your little communion shots that they give you. If anybody else didn't want to have one, you got to take it, kind of thing. And if there was any left on the board, they're like, yeah, go ahead, take it, So it was a really cool place to go, and it's a very good bourbon.
Yeah, if you're ever in New Orleans, it's like, it's just north of the French Quarter in Bywater, but it's like right under I-10. I mean, like you walk pretty much under. You go past one of the cemeteries, the above ground cemeteries, and then it's right there under I-10.
Yep,
it's really cool.
Yep.
But every time we go back to New Orleans, we go get a bottle. I actually asked a few friends to pick us up bottles because it's so inconvenient. We can't have it shipped. So
not to Alabama.
Yeah. So we've had this. We tend to drink the gin more than we do than the bourbon. But I was like going through our whiskeys and trying to find something Jennifer and I could drink. And I was like, oh, I haven't opened this one yet. So I was like, let's crack this shit open.
Let's crack it open.
So,
Crack-a-lackin'. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, Miss Jennifer, we've had our cocktail. So we're doing Reddit stories this week.
That's right.
All right. So you're up first, my love.
I am.
You got it?
I'm trying. It's just weird to get it to the...
to the Reddit website?
Yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, baby crying.
Uh-oh.
All right, so mine is called, it's a short one. I like that. Okay. Single Parent Woes. Well, I feel you already.
From the foster parents subreddit.
Foster parents subreddit Maleficent_shard, which I just like Maleficent. Okay, so IWF, so white female.
Yeah.
Foster adopted my son as a single parent. Me too. It has been great. However, I worry that I'm not going to be able to teach him the things he needs to know as a black man. For example, shaving, what to do when you're stopped by police, the handshake, etc.
What's a handshake?
I mean, all black people got that handshake that they know. I involved him in sports to help. I have a couple of male friends that appear to be willing to help, but he doesn't trust men. Any thoughts or advice would be appreciated. Well, for one, don't even worry about the handshake because there's people make up their own handshakes. There's not just one universal black person handshake.
The handshake. That's so funny.
And it depends. And all the millennials, they all have different handshakes. So don't worry about that. Talking to them about being stopped by the police, you just tell them, shut up. And if they're asked questions, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, don't wave your hands around. Just sit there and be respectful.
I was going to say, well, what's funny about this story is that our dear friend EJ just walked in while we're recording. So, hi, EJ. Okay, he's waving. Anyway, and he has been on the podcast. He's a friend of the pod. Thanks, EJ.
Yes.
But as soon as you said that, he sat down, and EJ's black, and we're just like, EJ, is there a black handshake that we should know about?
The only thing because yes, there's handshakes between different people,
but that's a friend group thing,
right? Because mine and EJ's handshake would maybe be different than Wesley and his friends' handshakes, And then if you start really thinking about handshakes, you need to get your son away because then there's going to be maybe some like gang affiliation handshakes. We don't want to worry about that. Shaving, just take him to a black barber. They will show him, tell him, do everything for him.
I mean, I never asked my father for advice on shaving. I just figure it out. It's not fucking impossible or difficult. I will say,
well, she's a white woman. It's a black man. Or black boy. She might think that there's a special way to shave, and we don't shave our face. Well, I don't shave my face, but when Wesley gets to the point of shaving, his
little wispy mustache.
Yeah, it's gonna be somebody, EJ, Zane, Jason, one of y'all, because I figure black folks and white folks shave their face the same way. Now hair, white folks, black folks don't do it the same way.
Yeah, agreed.
That is definitely where you need to take them to a black barber.
I was gonna say I actually heard some advice, not advice, but it was like a story of a white mom who had adopted black kids, and she was talking about how she made sure she didn't isolate her kids from the black community, and she actually took her son to a black church. And I was like, that actually might not be a bad, I do think it's important as white parents of black children to make sure you are comfortable being the only white person in a
the minority.
The minority in a black space.
Yes.
Because they are going to constantly be the only black person in a white space. So I think it's important for you to put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, I think so too. And if he not comfortable with your male friends, church will definitely help with that.
Find some gay black friends.
Find some gay black. If he's just not comfortable around men, because it says that he doesn't trust men, then the church is probably going to be a good place. You can take him to a barbershop. There are women that will cut his hair for him if he feels more comfortable with women instead of men. You can always find someone to talk to have him talk to about the black experience, shaving, talking to the police, how to do it, how not to do it, and so forth.
I will say, I understand the fear that, in transracial adoption about isolating the kids from their own community. I will say, however, that one thing, because they have already been removed from their family, their original family, the birth families, they're gonna feel different and isolated already. It's that's just, kudos to you for even thinking of this. I think that's admirable. But it's I do think that, and I think it's an over-exaggerated fear. That it's if you put in some effort, I think whatever you do is probably gonna be great.
Yeah.
The fact that you're even thinking about it is good.
Right, definitely. And I'm not talking you have to do Kwanzaa and dress up in a, a dashiki and any of that stuff. Don't do that.
Get your hair cornrowed.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But yes, there are many things that you can do that will help. If there's a local Boys and Girls Club in your neighborhood, that is a good place to meet other have mentors, because there's men and women at Wesley's Boys and Girls Club, and they all try hard to, keep him in line and show him things, that kind of thing. And if you keep him in sports, that's great. But if you're worried about him falling off, like, okay, well, you just do baseball, or you're doing a season of soccer and then soccer doesn't come around the next year and then he doesn't get to see those people anymore. Well, the Boys and Girls Club, they do all the sports, and then he can still go and still see those same kids.
Yeah. And if he's got a little sugar in his tank, go enroll him in theater camp or something.
Or gymnastics. But you don't have to have sugar in your tank for gymnastics. But true. I mean, but yeah, so asking questions is the first step. Yeah. I think that's very good because you're actually thinking about him.
Yeah.
I'm a single white female as well. And, that sounded very like that stalker movie.
She doesn't have any pet raccoons, though.
Yeah. My worry was more of raising a boy, not a black boy, because in my household, my mom and I are the minority. It was just raising a boy because boys are way different than girls.
Oh yeah,
they're nasty. So that's I had to okay. So they're hitting a certain age. What should I, think about when it comes to puberty? Because my puberty is going to be way different than his puberty. So
you're going to have to explain how to put the tampon in?
I don't have to explain how to put the tampon in. But I wouldn't do that until they were older anyways, if it was a girl. But yeah, I think she's on the right path.
Yeah.
And
I would say just make sure you feel comfortable being the only white person in black spaces. So,
definitely.
So that they can feel comfortable taking you to those places and, Yeah,
because you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you look scared, then he's going to feel that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. From two honkies to you, good luck.
I am not a honky. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm a cracker.
All right. So next one from the Ask Parents subreddit. Title is, Today we had to force our 4-year-old son to drink his medication by holding him down after almost an hour of screaming. Am I the asshole?
What kind of medication is it?
I don't know. Well, I saw this and it kind of reminds me of something Jennifer had to go through when publishing Wesley. And I was like, and I've seen a few other parents how to do the same thing. So, or not in that vein, but I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So,
yeah.
All right. So the story goes, our son, 4 years old, has always been very obedient. However, about a week ago, he started a new trend of pushing us to the limits of our patience for every single thing we ask him. We have always been very patient with him because we learned the hard way from our own parents what it's like to be treated impatiently all the time. This time, the little one needed to drink his medication. He hasn't been able to poop for several days, and the doctor prescribed this drink that would help him. We tried patiently for almost an hour to get him to drink it. We tried all the tricks in the book, promising a reward, playing a drinking game, playing doctor with his favorite teddy bear. But at some point, we cracked because he was screaming and refusing to drink it. So we gave up. We knew he needed to ingest this liquid. However, otherwise, we may have to go to the hospital. So I held in his arms, and my wife had to forcibly give him the medication. He spit it out. He spit half of it out. We just lost our patience and put him into bed. No story time, no nothing. And now we feel like shit. Are we the assholes? What should have we done more? Weird question.
What should we have done more?
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I mean, if you didn't want to forcibly hold him down, take him to the hospital. Let him feel how it is to go to the hospital. Show him this. You don't take your medication. We've tried. This is what's going to happen next. They're going to probably give you an enema because you can't poop.
Well, that's also an expensive thing to do too.
Well, so. I mean, I'm just saying, I was just thinking, hold his nose. He can't breathe. He'll open his mouth. Chug, chug, chug. I'm just kidding.
That's a tough one. Like when they're being obstinate like that, it's like, I don't know. Like I know with Kalia, I've had to like pin her. Like I took her to go get the COVID shot, and I had to pin her arm so she would take it. And she actually I was like, okay, do you want to just sit in my lap and I'll hold you without pinning your arms? And she pushed the doctor's hand or the technician's hands away and like he had to re-sterilize it because she was doing it. So I was like, okay, and I just held her. Yeah. So like I get that. But I
don't know about like holding them down for a 4-year-old. That just sounds so like I feel like straight jackety, like, you know. Just,
I don't know. I think at 4, it's a different ball game than if they're like 10 or something. Yeah. At 4, I think I would probably call the doctor back and like, we need something because he's fighting us too much on this.
Or see if they have because all them baby medicines have that syringe thingy.
Or a lot of places will compound it for kids too. They'll mix it with something sweet so it doesn't taste bad.
Yeah, but I don't even think he was trying to taste it to see if it might have tasted like bubble gum, and he didn't even know because he was just fighting not wanting to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, you already gave him, so maybe trying no story time, you're going to bed now before you held him down and see if that might have worked.
I mean, if you're going to the point where you're holding the kid down, I was like, you're already getting physical. I was like, I don't usually advocate for giving a little spank, but like at that age, like just give him a little pop on the ass.
Or the hand or
it was like, if you're getting to the point where you're holding him down, it's like you're already getting to physical punishment. So I'm like, you don't have to like go crazy, but just give him a little pop on the ass and go for it. Yeah. It's like, okay. And then if that still doesn't work, then call the doctor. Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, the reason I brought this one up is because Jennifer had to do something, not because of medication, but because of a punishment. And,
oh, God.
And I remember her having to
I got beat up.
Yeah, pin Wesley down because he had like been a real asshole. And so she shaved his head.
Well, it wasn't because he was an asshole. It's because he fought in school. That's his punishment, because he had been fighting so much and he likes his hair. So his punishment was to... Next time he got into a fight, I was going to shave his head. And he made it a whole lot worse than it was, actually. But I mean, 4, that's hard. Yeah. That's still baby. That's still, you can, I don't know, other ways.
I think.
While they're asleep.
But at the same time, it's like, when you're exhausted and you don't know what else to do, we get it. Like, we've all been there. We've all made decisions we regret later.
Wesley thinks he's the best shot taker in the world, and he'll watch the needle go to his arms, and then he'll move away from the needle. So I've had to hold his face and just be like, look at me, because you can't look at it because you'll move away. Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm not like strong holding him. I'm just like, you're looking me in my face, she's gonna stab you real quick, we're done. Because he'll move away and just like out of the seat almost onto the floor to get away from the shot, because he thinks he can watch it go in and he can't. Yep. So I mean, but that's a hard one right there.
Yeah, like, we feel you on this one, because like we've had to do shit we're not super happy, we wish we'd done differently, but with hindsight, there probably are things you could have done differently, but we're with you. It's painful.
I just wonder what he needed to ingest it so bad so they didn't have to go to the hospital.
Probably Miralax or something like that. I mean,
okay, he hadn't pooped. There we go, for several days. I forgot that part of the story. So, I mean, yeah. All right. I'm sorry.
It sucks.
I don't know if you're an asshole for it, but
it's tough.
There's pros. I mean, you're gonna fuck up.
Yeah, you're doing the best you can.
I'm not saying you fucked up, but there are going to be things that you're going to think back, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and hindsight's 20/20. So don't beat yourself. I would say if the intent was not malicious and you didn't harm him. Mm-hmm. Don't beat yourself. Yeah, hopefully don't beat yourself up too much over it. Yeah. So don't even this. You don't have to get confirmation from people. This will be a long line of shit you regret, but not much else you could have done. Yep. So, all right, Jennifer, what's our next one?
All right, so this is the parenting subreddit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Title: Struggling with 10-year-old daughter. Should I cancel our summer vacation? All right. Hi, everyone. So my 10-year-old daughter, A, has had a really poor attitude and outrageous behavior. For reference, I am a single mom and have a 6-year-old son who has a different father than A. Every year we take a summer road trip, usually to the coast, for a little over a week. The problem has greatly escalated over the last year and a half. She has been lying, stealing, and overall just angry. Preach it, sister. She's stolen both cash and gift cards from me, as well as makeup and other small items. This isn't new behavior, though. She says awful things and calls us names and is constantly screaming and yelling. On Mother's Day, she slammed her bedroom door so hard that it shook the entire house. Basically, the last year and a half have been a living hell for me. I know part of it is puberty coming into play, but I've tried rewards, punishment, ignoring, counseling, and nothing has worked. So after all the details, do you think I should cancel our trip? It is something I really enjoy doing with the kids, and it is our tradition. I just don't know if I can deal with A and risk her ruining our time, and it's not fair to K, which I'm guessing is the 6-year-old, to miss out because of A's behavior. As another thought, would it be totally awful to take K out of town for a few days while A is with her father? I am so conflicted, but A has just been absolutely horrendous, and I'm gutted even writing this. I appreciate if you've made it this far, and thank you. Edit. I do have her in therapy. Update. We went on the vacation. She was okay for some of it, but also had outbursts. Half the stuff we did, she honestly didn't deserve to participate in, but it's not like I could just drop her off somewhere, and I didn't want to be sitting in the hotel room for the whole trip. Kind of wish we didn't go.
Now, this one I picked because it has so many similarities to what we went through with Wesley.
Yeah.
And having to leave him at home.
I would say leave her with her dad.
Yeah. If you have that option.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If you want Kay to have a good time and you know A is a bitch, because 10-year-old girls can be bitches, then, leave her with daddy.
Yeah. When I read this, I was like, I think I would have left her with, frankly, there may be some underlying issue why her behaviors drops off so bad. It might be something like, frankly, it might be sexual abuse. But, like, if she's getting that out of control, like, send her to her dad's. Just be like, here, you're going to go live with your dad for a while because I can't handle this. And
I wonder if she acts that way with dad. Maybe this is just her way of like, I don't want to live with you. I want to live with dad.
Yeah.
Let her have a week and a half with dad to see how he handles it. And then maybe she'd be like, oh, Mom, I need to come back with you.
Yeah.
Especially since she kind of wished she didn't go at that update at the bottom of it. Like,
I think a lot of times kids will... Like, they're struggling with something and they're angry, and the only person they can take it out on is the safe parent, like what you've been dealing with Wesley. And I've heard many of other people do the same thing. But I do think it's like sometimes a good shock to the system to be like, okay, I can't treat these people like shit for the rest of my life. So if there's that threat of, okay, you have to be away from, not permanently, but it's just like a timeout basically. Yeah. It's like we need a break from each other, and you need to realize that I can't take this forever. Yeah. I do think that's an appropriate thing to do. Be like, okay, distance. Yeah. And good luck. Yeah. And when you're ready to treat me with respect, you can come back.
Do you think because she's 10 and Kay is 6, I know she says she's a single mom, but they both have different dads. I guess she's not with the 6-year-old's dad either if she says she's a single mom, right?
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah. So. But maybe there's some animosity that she met another dude and then had this 6-year-old, and then now that they both have 2 different dads and Kay goes this way, she goes that way to different dads. Maybe she's got some resentment because, her and dad didn't get along, because, that will make a kid act out in different ways, because a lot of times they think that
maybe, but
it's their fault.
I mean, that could possibly be it, but it seems like it happened in the last year. That's why I was suggesting it might be something like sexual abuse or something happened. Yeah. That mom's not realizing.
But she's in therapy, so that's good. Yeah. So hopefully they can figure that out. Yeah. But on that, I would not have canceled my summer vacation, but I would have left her ass somewhere else.
I would have too.
And that's what I did. Yeah. And I had a great time.
Yeah. If Kalia had been acting like Wesley had, I would have been like, okay, you're going to stay home. Yeah. You're going to stay with grandma. You're going to stay with someone else. Yeah. But you ain't coming with us if you're going to act like that. I
mean, especially if you don't deserve it. Yeah. Because vacations, we put a lot of money, hard work. Mm-hmm. We take our vacation time. We want to have a good time on vacation. So
agreed.
All right. We got time for one more?
We do. All right. Last one. This one I picked out because it was very applicable to our situation with Justin. Okay. So it's from the foster parents subreddit. I can't read that.
Title?
It's just give me a latte. Oh, just give me a latte is the user. Yeah. So just give me a latte. So the title is when they can't graduate. So we have a precious 17-year-old boy right now that turns 18 in a month. He does not have an IEP, and while looking at his transcripts, discovered there's no way he can graduate. He literally can't stay in school long enough. His caseworker is setting up a meeting to talk about a GED, which requires a ton of independent study and motivation. The kid just has no motivation. I work at the school he's been at for the past few years when he wasn't in a facility, which is very helpful when he's caught wandering the halls, but not so helpful as far as being available to get him through preparing for his GED. I want to help him stay eligible for extension of care benefits, and we have no intention of just making him leave if benefits stop. I'm at a loss. I wish I could quit my job and just do whatever it takes to get to the next step, even if it means just sitting at the kitchen table with him doing his homework. I wish we had gotten him at 6 years old.
6 years ago.
6 years ago instead of 6 days ago. Oh, the foster care system.
Yes.
So Zane and I actually had a very similar situation with Justin because we got him at 17 and he had been in a alternative school because he was so behind because they kept jumping him around. This kid at least was in one school, but like Justin had been jumped around so much he lost credits and earned credits. So like,
are you sure he was? Because they said they just got him 6 days ago.
But it said in the post,
that she's worked at the
school he's been at for the past few years.
Okay,
so he's been there for at least a little
bit. But when he wasn't in a facility, so he's been.
Yeah, his home life has been, erratic, but at least it sounded like his school life. Oh,
you mean the facility you think is a foster home, not a
probably
facility
a
as
home.
I'm
guessing it's like
facility.
Justin, he's at his group home is what I'm guessing.
Oh, I was thinking treatment facility, like some of the kids.
Either one, but it sounds like he's been at least in one school. And I know like in West Virginia, or my friend Feej, his kids, they prioritize keeping the kids in the same school, no matter what the home life. So that's what I'm guessing is they moved around.
I got you.
But like Justin, there was no way he was going to graduate without staying until he was probably 20, and he just had no motivation. So
I mean, he stayed longer than we thought he would.
Yeah, no, the fact that he even made it a year, I was so happy with. Yeah. I was so grateful that he did it, even tried for that year. So he even signed up for the second year when he was 19 or. He was 18 and going to turn 19. And I couldn't really blame him that he dropped out. So, I don't know. In this again, I don't know the state laws. I don't know what's going on. I think you just kind of have to accept that he's not going to graduate and like either check in your homeschooling. Because I know in Alabama our laws are so lax with homeschooling. I can graduate Justin as a homeschooling parent and give him a diploma. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they are wherever you're at. This sucks, but you just kind of... Frankly, I would find him a good, what do they call it? Apprenticeship or something like...
Trade?
Trade, thank you. A trade program to get him in that doesn't require a high school diploma.
I think most of them are at least a GED now.
No, well, like driving doesn't. Oh. Like
CDL?
Yeah, CDL doesn't.
Okay.
And no, like even like electricians and some of the plumbers, you have to do some math, but you don't have to have a diploma or high school degree. So what Job Corps? That's a good one. Yeah. Because they will actually get you a GED and get you a job, an apprenticeship. But this is the joys and pains of foster care. It's that because they hop around so much.
And some foster families just do it for the check and don't care about the kid. And mine, I get him at 8 years old and he can't read and barely knows his ABCs.
Yeah, I was about to say, they said they wish they got him at 6 years ago instead of 6 days ago. Yep. Even if you got him at 11, there's no guarantee you would have gotten him to graduate. Wesley's like struggling hella bad. Even you had him for 5 years. Yep. So
yeah, that's just sucky.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look into the local colleges. I know our 2-year college, Calhoun, offers the GED programs where they'll work with the kids to try to get them to get their GED. But if he's not motivated...
Well, I was going to say it's not independent study either. Like you come in, you work on the computer, and if you pass some like online shit, then you pass that portion of the...
No. At Calhoun?
That's what they told
us. It was
Justin.
classes.
Yeah, but I mean, like
they sit with you and teach you.
Yeah, well, I meant it didn't require independent study is all I was trying to make the point.
Oh, no, it's him going too. Like, someone's going to be there with him. It's class. That's what I was. Yeah, but if he doesn't have any motivation to do it, then, he'll get motivation when he's 24 and he's still working at McDonald's because he can't get another job. I mean, maybe. But it really does suck, and I hate that they don't, not regulate, but like check in on the kids, and because it seems like they just pass them.
Well, but
whether they can read or not read, or they don't, they're just like, oh, go.
But I mean, like, what if let's say you fail 2 grades, and let's say you start in high school and you start failing 2 grades, and you're not going to graduate ever. It's like, who gives a shit? I'm like.
I mean, with Wesley,
I mean, but like if you held him back 2 years and he was like a 13-year-old in 7th grade or in 5th grade, like he'd give up.
Well, I mean, and he started late because he's a February baby. So he technically, if he graduates, I really want to say when he graduates, but the way things are going, I don't know. I'll say it. When he graduates, he'll be 19. He'll turn 19 and then graduate. So if they did hold him back, he would have been 20 or 21. But my thing is like when he's in kindergarten or 1st grade, tell those foster, hey, work with him. He needs to know his ABCs. Like, I think there should be more responsibility on the foster parents to work with the kids. I know it's hard to find foster parents, and a lot of them just do it for the check, and it's just pisses me off is what it does.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
bad times.
Frankly, if they gave more support to the birth families and if they didn't require them to be pulled out of the birth families, except for in cases like abuse. Yeah. But like, if mom's got a drug addiction, it's like, why don't we treat drug addiction, make sure they have food in the house and resources and shit like that, instead of like, we're just going to... Poor Jennifer like whacked her knee or something, her elbow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fucked up system. Mm-hmm. It's the one we have to deal with, but it's like there's no happy good answer. You just kind of have to accept that it's probably not going to graduate. Yeah, and just try and find some better alternative. Mm-hmm. So
I like that one.
Yeah, it's a tough road.
It is.
All right, so for
just hold them down. Just. And make sure and read him all the math books and the reading books. Pour the knowledge into his mouth. Pour the knowledge in his mouth and
pinch his nose so he can't spit it back out.
Yep. I had to make it funny after that because I was a little like a downer.
A little too down. All right. Well, for our 15 listeners, thank you, Benjamin. We appreciate you and love you. If you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics,
please email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
Yes, please.
Yes.
What are we eating on, Jason?
Well, I got inspired to make some chocolate chip cookies because I was watching America's Test Kitchen. It's a PBS, public broadcasting, from like Sesame Street and that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. As EJ and Jennifer chuckling at me.
Sesame Street, America's Test Chickens is all it has.
Julia Roberts, baby.
That's right.
But anyway, they had done a taste test on chocolate chips and like the higher end ones, and so they had taste tested some, and they had reviewed the Ghirardelli 60% cocoa or cacao chocolate chips is really good. So I was like, I'm try that, and I've heard of. When you make chocolate chips, it's a good idea to brown your butter. So you melt it and you cook it so it gets like a real dark, rich color. So I was like, I'm going to try that. So I got out my I got my butter out and browned it. And then I got the fancy chocolate chips and I made the stuff. They're good, but I cannot taste the brown butter in them at all. We had my friend over, Chad, the other night, and he said he could taste it. But I was like, I can tell there's a difference, but I like the difference in the chocolate chips maybe drowning out the brown butter enough that I can't pick it out. I mean, they're good. I like them. They're good cookies, but I'm not sure I would be like, this effort was worth it.
Yeah.
So it was still good. And I actually have another whole cup or 2 sticks of browned butter in the refrigerator because I fucked up and browned 2 cups of brown butter
instead of just one that you needed.
Because I was like, could not read. I was like, I evaporated all that water. I only have 1 cup, and that's all I needed. So.
Well, I mean, I don't mind them. They're really good.
Yeah, they're good. They're good cookies, regardless.
So you can just make more cookies and be fine.
Yep. All right. So, Jennifer, we've had our cocktail. We've had our snack time. What's our story time?
All right. So I don't know, about anybody else, but sometimes I just want to drown my kid out.
What?
And he was being a real asshole. I know, surprise, surprise. And I think we were driving here. And I was playing music, and he just wouldn't be quiet. And he was just bugging the shit out of me. And, first thing in the morning, I don't want to go to work anyways. And I have you just blah, blah, blah in the back seat. So I put my earbuds in, and I am just jamming out to my music. Well, from the back of the car, I hear, "Mom, you're really autistic." And I'm like, "Deet, deet." I pushed the little button on my AirPod, and I'm like, "What did you just call me?" And he was like, "Autistic." I was like, "Are you trying to say I'm artistic? Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say that I'm artistic."
Mother, that's not what he was calling you.
And he's like, "No, you can't sing."
Oh? That's unclear.
And I'm like, "Okay, so you think autistic means I can't sing?" He was like, "No, you're just acting weird." And I'm like, "Okay. So now I'm acting weird. I'm autistic and I can't sing." Okay.
Motherfucker.
Guess what? Tee. And then I'm just screaming the damn words to the song, and I don't care, and I'm putting on accents, and I am just hamming it up like hardcore. And usually when I drop him off here, it takes him forever to get out of the car. That motherfucker got out so quick because I had annoyed the shit out of him with my autisticness, or, my autism. And then later that day, because, I had woke up some, and I was like, "Do you even know what autistic means?" It's like, "Do you know your uncle is autistic?" "Patrick's not autistic." "Yes, he is. There are different spectrums to autistic. You should never call anyone autistic because you don't know. Unless they tell you that they have been diagnosed, you don't know. And there are a lot of correlations in behavior-wise between people on ADHD and people who are autistic. They have some of the same similarities and same kind of things bother them or don't bother them. Like me and Patrick had kind of talked about what bothers me and what bothers him. Like his stemming bothers me because it's the noises.
Right.
So it's like, we've talked about this, and I'm like, you should never call anybody that. That's just not nice. I mean, I don't care if you call me dumb or a bad singer, whatever. I mean...
Well, I will say he didn't call you the R word, which is nice.
Yeah. I'm waiting on it because I've been called deaf, dumb, stupid, autistic. He likes to just throw out words that he can think of. Retarded might be just a little bit above his age level right now. Asshole. But yeah, so that was when I was called autistic.
Well, it's good to know I have an autistic friend now.
There you go. You do, my brother.
All right. Well, if you are autistic, thanks for listening to another episode of A Guide to Bored Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
If you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask if they can go to summer camp and change their minds, even though we just drove them 2 hours to get there.
Tough shit. Get out of the car and go have fun.
You're going to get out of this fucking car, I'm going to throw you.
And you're riding the bus back. I ain't picking your ass back up.
That's right.
That's right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.